Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm actually doing a really fun tutorial in a sense for you. I'm actually going to show you guys how I learned bash scripting, and this wasn't something I intentionally did or anything like that. It was kind of just the path I took. So this may be beneficial to some people, and some people may say I don't want to do that. But either way, this will help you learn bash scripting even if you've never done it before in your life. And it's fun. That's what I like about it. I like doing fun things. So this week for Thanksgiving, I'm going to do bash scripting, and then I'm going to do a Python scripting later in the week, so that way you guys can kind of see both sides. But this is actually genuinely how I learned. So if you guys like this content, if you guys like learning a little bit about my journey and how I got here as well, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that sub button. We're so close to 10,000 subs, and when we do hit 10,000 subs, make sure you're in the Discord, because we're going to probably do some large giveaway or something like that for everybody, because I really do appreciate your guys' support. So when I was growing up, one of the first things I remember is when computers kind of became big, right? I know I look young. I'm a little bit older than I look. And I remember when computers became a big thing, and we didn't have one. But if you went to school, every now and then you might... I think my sophomore year or something like that, we had like a typing class, right? So we had to sit there and learn how to type. And they'd put like a little cardboard piece over your feet, over your hand, so you can't look down and type. And I remember one of the things that we did is we'd play a lot of text-based games. And this is because back then there was no, like, you can't go to websites and stuff like that. You could do whatever you want. So we would go to websites and play these text-based games. Now, these were a lot of fun. These were really fun for, when you're a kid and you didn't know any better. So when I was learning bash scripting, I remember thinking, okay, I learned the basics of scripting, and I was like, well, okay, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, that's great. But how do I make it interactive? How do I make it where whatever I'm making, the end person wants to use it, right? I didn't think in the terms of like, how do I automate stuff? Even though that's how I should have been thinking, I was thinking more of like, how do I make this fun for the person I'm creating it for too, right? And that's kind of the approach I took. And so you'll see, here's what I used to do. And I actually had a bunch of these, but I had really a lot of fun with this. And the reason I've talked in the past about my notebooks, I have notebooks, a lot of notebooks where I would write scripts. This is some of the scripts I would write. And the reason I do is because this helped me learn a lot of scripting in a way that I enjoyed, so I could sit here all day long and do it. And it gets you used to just scripting, troubleshooting. So what I'd do is I'd make these text-based adventures. So for those of you that don't know how they work, basically you start up the program. It says, hey, here's where you're at. Your name's Bob. You're doing something. And how do you want to proceed, right? And it gives you a list of options. So you say, okay, I want to do this. And then it gives you another prompt. And then you say, I want to do this. And it gives you another prompt. And things happen. So you'll see right here, I started with the basics so that you guys could understand it. And then we're going to kind of build this out. And I'll show you some of the things we can do. So when I first started, I didn't really know about Boolean factors necessarily, which is true and false factors. So what I would do is I would put like, this is just, I'd made this in 2 seconds. So you wake up in the woods and all you have is your clothes and a backpack. That when you open, you see a small dagger and a piece of bread. So I set the bread and the dagger as true, meaning you have them in your possession right now. So if you want to use them later, you can use them, right? And then I say, okay, you notice you're starving. Would you like to eat the bread? If you say yes, it says, wow, you feel so much better. And then the bread goes to false. This means now you don't have the bread. So from now on in the program, anytime bread gets brought up, you don't have it. So if I give you the option of, hey, you're going to starve to death, you need to find food, right? That might change the story. Why would it change the story? Because if you said no, hey, you still have the bread here, but your story might start going like this, and then you have to give up a turn to go eat bread or something like that, right? Whereas this person may later get hungry and have to go hunting because she doesn't have bread or he doesn't have bread or whatever. Right? So the story can change. So let's go ahead and just follow the story. So it's a simple tree story, meaning that basically you pick a spot or you pick something, a branch, and you keep going. So we say, okay, wow, you feel so much better, right? So one of the reasons I picked this specifically when I was learning is because I really always was drawn to the read aspect of scripting, which means people give you input, I was always really drawn to that. And what that means is, and then here you see I put else answer equals no. That's not actually, I should do else if. But basically, I was drawn to this because I always like that the user interacts with you. So we'll say else if, or we'll just say, we'll just do it if again. And then we'll say else down here. There we go. And then that way, oops. If you do put something that doesn't make sense, we can say echo invalid input. Please try again, right? And then that'll end the program. Now we could, and this is where I say this helps you learn scripting a lot. We're not going to cover every single piece in this video, but why this helps a lot is you learn concepts. So like one concept right here, right? With this script right here, if I run it, you'll see, we'll run it here. And it says, hey, you woke up in the woods. All you have is your clothes and a backpack. Would you like to eat the bread? If we say yes, okay, we get unexpected. And the reason I get unexpected is because syntax near unexpected token else. Okay, so what they're saying is, if you look, looks like there's actually something unexpected here. So okay, so that means right now we gotta start troubleshooting, right? That's what I would take from it. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, well, first off, if answer, yeah, my phone's going off. Okay, so okay, sorry about that, guys. My phone was blowing up and I did not want it to stay in the video. So here we are. We're back at the regular screen, and we noticed when we ran this, we got an error. So if we run it and we say yes, you notice it says syntax error, unexpected token. Okay, so right off the bat, we're starting to get troubleshooting involved. This is how you learn, in my opinion, when you're failing, when you're making mistakes. So what's wrong here? Well, if you heard me earlier, I said it should be an else if statement. So it's if the answer is yes, then this. But this should say, first off, elif for else if, and then there's no then here. I don't have anything. It's not telling it what to do then. So we say then. So if it's this, then we do that, right? So then we say, okay, yes, we want to eat the bread. And then it says, wow, you feel so much better. So this sounds simple, sounds easy, right? It is easy at the beginning, and that's why I love this approach. You can make this as easy as you want. You don't have to use any variables like dagger bread where you make it true or false. You don't have to do any of that yet. If you're learning and you're new, you can just keep making the story. You can say, wow, you feel so much better. Okay, and then what? What else should we do, right? So then we say echo, let's say, would you like to go left or right? Right? There we go. Would you like to go left or right? And then we read their input, and they read and they say, and we say left or right. That's what will make the variable. Okay, so now we're learning about variables. We're already learning about variables. We've learned about else if statements. We've learned about the read input. So we're learning bash scripting, and really we're making a game that I think is fun. I know it sounds simple, it sounds silly, like people that didn't grow up playing text-based games, they're probably like, yeah, okay, like this is fun. This was fun back in the day because these stories would go on for a long time and you could really make it your own. So now you could say, okay, would you like to go left or right? And then read left or right. And then if left, geez, my fingers are all messed up. Left or right variable, right? If left or right, we'll just put that space there to get that. Okay, if left or right equals left, if it equals left, then we say echo, oh no, you ran into a dragon. He instantly incinerates you. right? Okay, so there, if you turn left there, the game's over, you die, right? Now this would be silly to make the game 2 seconds and then you die, but this could be what you do, and then you have to slowly make your way through it. So then you can say if left or right, if I can find the keys, left or right, equals right, then we say wow, you found a sword and a shiny gem. Okay, cool. So now we found a sword and a shiny gem. So now this is how I used to do it. I would set this up, do that, and then I'd try it every single time. I try a new one. So you notice the bread. Would you like to eat the bread? Yes. Okay, we got a syntax error. Why do we have a syntax error? Well, because we never finished the if statement. Once again, we said this needs to be an elif, but we never finished it. So we have to say fi to finish the if statement. So we save it and we try it again. Okay, wow, you feel so much better. Would you like to go left or right? Well, let's go left. Oh no, you ran into a dragon. He instantly incinerates you, and it ends. You lost, right? Now, let's do it again. Say yes. Would you like to go left or right? Let's go right. Wow, you found a sword and a shiny gem. And then from here, we could say, okay, let's make the sword. Sword equals true, right? And then gem equals true. Now this means we now have a sword and gem, and we can call on these later. We could easily say later, hey, okay, let's go ahead and keep the story going here. So then we say, okay, we're going down a tree path, you can see. So we say, okay, we're in the if-else statement, that's fine, everything's great. Now we say, echo, you run into a bear. Would you like to fight him? And then, depending on what they say, right, we can say, okay. So if you say, we'll say read, and then we'll say, let's see, bear, and we'll just name the variable bear, right? And then we'll say the same thing as before. We say if, we can put it right here actually, if bear, whoops, if, there we go, bear, put the $sign there, equals yes, because we want to fight him. Right? If we want to fight him, we can say then echo you plunge your sword into the bear. And then what you could do is you could say if bear equals yes, then we could check and say if sword equals true, you plunge your sword into the bear and he dies, but your sword breaks. Dang. Okay, so if we don't fight the bear, or if we do fight the bear, right, he takes our sword basically, right? So now we say sword equals false. So now we don't have a sword. So if later, if we're in this story and we need to fight, you'll know whether the sword's there or not, because it'll determine if the sword is false or true. So this sounds complicated, but look how easy the concepts are. All we've done is echo, read it, then we set variables, then we have them read the answer or input their answer, right? And then based on their answer, we keep the story going. So now if we run this, and you can see it's probably not gonna, we probably didn't finish it. Yeah, it looks like we have to finish it, but I don't think that's gonna be, let's see. Yes, we ate the bread. We would like to go right. You run into a bear. Would you like to fight him? Yes, I would. Okay, and you can see we said, yes, we'd like to fight him. Line 26, we have to troubleshoot. Okay, if bear equals yes. So what did we do? What's wrong here? All right. Well, let's go ahead and look. All right, if read bear, if bear. So we said, yes, command not found. Okay, so it's trying to find this yes command, which means we probably didn't run, or something isn't correct, right? So you can see you're going to start troubleshooting pretty much every step because you need it to work perfectly. Now, what you can do is then when you start to learn bash scripting a little bit more advanced, you can start putting these into functions and modules, meaning, okay, this is great, right? Well, what if we make storylines into separate files, separate scripts that we call upon in this script? Or what if we then break them down into functions and have different stories have different functions? So when you're actually going through this, it's not just one huge file of text, which you can do if you're learning, but then you can start to break it down and you can start to do functions and say, okay, instead of all of this else if statements, right, all this stuff, what if we had this stuff is one function, okay? And then that's one function. And then if you choose bear, you want to fight the bear, it just calls that function and brings it over rather than having it just all this crazy stuff. So you can have all these scenarios built out as a text-based game, and you can have them all built out. And when they're built out, you can have them as functions. So now you're learning functions and you have them all built out as functions. So you have a scenario here, 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 here. And then you have the story going. And you can call on these functions if you need to, right? And then when you have these false and true statements, it will tell the story every time you call a function, it can check, do you have a sword? Do you not? And when you call that function in, it'll say, do they have a sword? They don't have a sword. So you tried to fight the bear, you didn't have a sword. Well, he instantly kills you, right? So this is the way I learned scripting. And I know it sounds so silly because this isn't scripting. This is just kind of text-based game design, but it's the way I learned it. And it was so fun to me because I would get really invested in the stories. I actually, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an author. And I would always get very involved in these stories. And I've just always been very good at basically kind of finding a way to make things that I learn that I want to learn, I should say, geared towards what I like. And this was one way I did that. So I wanted to show you guys this, not to tell you guys how I did it necessarily, but to show you, you don't have to learn scripting the way that you see it online. You don't have to go to a YouTube video and watch someone say, okay, well, if you want to take backups, you do this and you script it. If that doesn't appeal to you at first, make it fun. Do it something you like. Once you find something you like, figure out your scripting method, build it out. Perfect. You now have the basic scripting fundamentals. Now start building out scripts that help you at work or help you in your job or your day-to-day life for automation, those types of things. But don't forget what's fun, right? If you're not having fun doing cybersecurity and doing this work, it's not going to be, you're going to burn out, man. I'm telling you, it's not fun if you don't have it. So make it fun. Do it however you want. This is just one example of what I did. I did a lot of scripts that didn't help anything. It just was fun for me. So I wanted to take this holidays and Thanksgiving, and because I'm thankful as hell for my career. I'm thankful for where I'm at. I'm thankful for the audience I have. I'm thankful for all of you guys. I'm thankful for everything around here. And this is the stuff that I'm thankful for, is that I found a way to find something I enjoy and turn it into something I enjoy. Meaning, bash scripting initially wasn't the most fun to me. I thought it was cool. I really did, but it was hard for me to get really involved in the, like, okay, let's script something that changes a password or something. Okay, cool. Let's script something that takes backups every day. Okay, cool. Because those are one and done things. You just script them, let it run, and you're done. And so you're like, okay, that's cool. That helped me for, save me some time. And then now what? Now I go to the next one. Okay, whatever. This stuff is stuff that I kept doing on my phone, on my own. It was improving my progression. I was getting better and better at things. And it was because I found stuff like this. Same thing with CTFs, same thing with my YouTube channel, same thing with my Discord, my Patreon, all that. It's all stuff that I find that I like, and I gear it towards something else I really like, and I put them together in a way so that I can learn, progress, and make something that I enjoy. So hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully you guys have great holidays, and also hopefully some of you guys make some stories and some games, and let me know, because I will review them on the, if you put them in the Discord. I love reviewing the Discord's work. So let me know what you guys think, and hopefully you guys have a great day. Thanks.